Media.
Hi, my name is Ronnie Cruz. After almost 2 decades as a career network marketer, I realized that despite continual work on my personal and professional development, that I had hit a massive brick wall. So I took a deep and honest look at myself, top to bottom, hoping to find answers, and my search led me to one conclusion. The definitions I held of my business, of my world, of my life were the very things holding me back. If I wanted to change, if I wanted to grow beyond my current circumstances, I had to wipe the slate clean and redefine. This show is dedicated to helping you identify the belief systems, the mindsets, the very definitions that have held you back, and then help you break through those limitations to finally create the life you've been working so hard to achieve. Welcome to the Redefine podcast.
All right, welcome back to the show. Thanks for tuning in. Today, we're going to redefine the word influencer and what that means, right? What that means. I don't know about you, but when I first was introduced to this word and started getting familiar with it, I had a very narrow idea of what an influencer meant or what an influencer was. For me, the initial picture of an influencer was an online personality. Generally, somebody younger in the younger demographic, you know what I mean? Somebody that really knows social media and has leveraged the social media to build a large following, and therefore, because they have a large following, they have influence, and they've been able to leverage that influence and turn a career into it, right? These influencers, um, and that's not incorrect, of course, that's not incorrect. Because we've seen influencers in that particular category do very well and do exactly what I just said. But it was so much more than that, right? It's not just dancing teenagers on TikTok. And I know I say that a lot, and I don't mean to poke fun. I love seeing dancers do very well with these social platforms. I think it's amazing. Um, However, again, the term influencer actually means so much more than that. And as I studied online marketing and as I got into especially social media marketing, the term broadened into like the coaching arena, right? And the thought leader arena is what they call it, right? These individuals that are teaching and whose content help inspire and help people grow, help people in their personal development journeys, right? These instructors even, right? Like the digital education world is absolutely huge, and a lot of people market that as influencers online, right, those are influencers, right? If you have a digital course, you're an influencer because you're influencing other people to expand their perspective on whatever given topic, right? And of course, we have very quote unquote big personalities in the influencer world from the coaching standpoint. You have your Tony Robbins, you have your Brendan Burchards. I mean, you have all these big names, right? Your Mel Robbins of the world. Um, they're also influencers, right? Right? That thought leader group, that coaching group, those gurus. So it broadened from, again, just online personalities to individuals who are purposefully and intentionally using online and leveraging social platforms to get a message out there and to help impact people's lives. And then I got to thinking some more. Well, I think it's more than just that, right? I think it's more than just using social media and online platforms to grow a business and to create a career. I think the everyday user and individual that engages on social media is an influencer. And an illustration of this, if you don't believe me, is if you look at any of the comment threads that of anybody that you might be following, especially very opinionated comment threads or comment threads in posts that are very kind of polarizing. You'll see that comments influence other comments, right? And generally for that particular example, it's an argument online. However, it's still influence, right? A negative comment or a comment that's really pointed and just ugly will influence other people to respond to it. And that's generally what trolls do anyways. But that's just an example, right? For you, like for the casual user of social media, let's say, not for you in particular, but for casual users of social media, if you're using social media just to update what your friends, your family, and what you're doing, when you posted the last movie that you watched on your social platforms, don't you think that that influenced people that follow you and that are connected with you on the feed? I would wager to say yes. Okay, so the example that I like is Top Gun, that the recent sequel that came out, I think it was last year. Everybody was posting about it, and the more people posted about it, right, the more it influenced people to go watch the actual movie. Now, were these people purposefully marketing Top Gun, on their social feeds? No, they were just sharing casually what they're up to, right? Like using social media for social content. Yet they still influence people, right? So now the conversation of influencer is super super broad. Now let's take it offline and realize that everything that we do in any interaction has an influence, right? Right? If posting about Top Gun on your social feeds has influence on people, then any interaction really, whether it's online or offline, any interaction with any other person will have an effect and will have some sort of influence, for better or for worse, conscious or unconscious. So in that sense, we're all influencers. And here's the bottom line: the most important person that you have to influence is yourself, right? With all the stimuli and all this feedback that's coming in, a lot of that can really influence our thoughts, influence our emotions, and then therefore influence our behaviors and our actions. And so we have to really, really be mindful of what we're doing and what we're thinking, and be the most influential person in our own lives, right? The most important person that you're going to be influencing is yourself. Because if you don't, all these other things that's going on that I talked about in this episode will be influencing you, and you're going to get so many just random outcomes in your life, right? It's going to be a life created by default as opposed to a life created on purpose. So the term influencer is so broad, so much more broad than I originally thought it was. And the most important influencer is you, right? It's you. So chew on that for a little bit. Chew on that for a little bit. From a content standpoint, has huge, huge impact and ramifications. But also from a personal development standpoint, it can have some pretty big impact on your progress, on your growth, and on your journey, right? All right, so that's my message for today's episode. Thanks for tuning in. Of course, more from me tomorrow. So until then, be well, be safe. We'll see you in the next episode.